Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation. This is our consulting report, and we're going to be doing it on Loma Linda BMC Youth and their mental health. So this is going to be presented by myself, Ben. We have Zach, Ileana, Jamie, and Kyle, who's going to take us away a little bit about who we are and what we do here.
Okay, who we are. We are Abound Consulting. We were founded in 2017 by Jamie Yoon. Next slide, please. Okay, about us. Once again, we are Abound Consulting. We were built upon the foundation of facilitating abundance of success. We exist to make positive transformations abound. This means to be plentiful and abundant. At Abound Consulting is a leading advisory group dedicated to helping healthcare and nonprofit organizations evolve. Next slide. Vision statement. We have a passion for making positive transformations abound for healthcare and nonprofit organizations in the Western US. Our mission is to help companies transform by providing guidance to promote self-discovery, growth, and conversation. Our core values are authenticity, clarity, transformation, and humility. And Jamie's going to tell you some more.
Okay, so a bit about BMC's Youth Mental Health Program. Under the leadership of Director Glenn Scott, the Youth Mental Health Department of Loma Linda University Hospital is committed to providing safety and healing for struggling youth. Overseeing a staff of 43 members across 2 campuses in Redlands and Murrieta, Glenn Scott has successfully created a working culture of safety and radical loving care. This means that internally, employees know they matter, operating under a mantra of, I'm a valued member of a winning team, doing meaningful work in an environment of trust. Externally, this translates to providing quality patient care within that environment of trust. So Glenn has made it his mission to be accessible to employees in fostering a caring culture throughout. And this is evidenced by high results in the Gallup Engagement Survey, with 78% of employees feeling cared for by their supervisor and colleagues compared to the national average in the healthcare industry. Next slide, please. With the onset of COVID-19, a transition to remote therapy was required. This presented some challenges. The level of physical interaction among coworkers and patients was greatly altered. The Gallup survey results suggest the presence of possible negative impacts because of this. The percentile rankings for opportunities to learn and grow at work and commitment to quality work both scored low against the national average, as Ileana will share later in greater detail. So the lack of physical interaction point to some negative implications that need to be addressed. Next slide, please. Now that the pandemic has reached manageable levels, the Youth Mental Health Program has an opportunity to explore the tension between figuring out the optional balance of remote versus in-person schedules for an ideal post-pandemic work environment while upholding high-quality care for patients. How do we motivate employees to return on site to increase interaction and engagement with due consideration of their preferences without compromising their satisfaction and commitment to the organization? To answer this, let's take a further dive into the current situation by looking at a quick SWOT analysis. We have as our strength the Youth Mental Health Department resembling a community of trust with high respect for their leader. Employees and patients know they are valued and open communication is encouraged. A weakness, however, is that now that the pandemic is over, employees have gotten comfortable working from home and seem reluctant to come back to on-site work. This would mean that opportunities to learn and grow and commitment to quality work might suffer, as the Gallup survey results suggest. An opportunity here, though, is for some creativity and innovation in this transitional work environment. We are able to explore new ways of engagement and satisfaction, which are now possible for both employees and patients as we grapple with the right combination of remote versus on-site work. A possible threat, however, is turnover of employees if they're unhappy with the new protocol, and a possible loss of patients if quality care is compromised as well. So with these factors in mind, here are some recommendations. Take it away, Zach.
Thanks so much, Jamie, for going over the SWOT analysis. So starting off our recommendations, our first one is that we are suggesting a telework agreement between Glenn and his employees. This is going to look similar to a verbal contract that allows the employees to voice their preferences for whether they want to work at home or work on site. The first step in this process is to survey the employees and gauge where their preferences are at. It's going to ask them whether they want to work at home or on site, or if hybrid scheduling would be a good middle ground to compromise. The second step is going to be to set a minimum amount of hours that are required to be worked on site. We're suggesting a minimum of around 20 hours a month for the employees who prefer to work at home the majority of the time. This is going to help put at ease the concerns of those who want to stay at home, but also accommodate the ones who want to work with each other in the office. Now, don't go thinking we've forgotten about the patients. Our suggestion for patients is to match the new patients with employees who share similar preferences to on-site or remote therapy. This will offer the best client and employee experience all around. For existing patients, they can be assessed for how sensitive their cases are, and the employees who want to work from home can delegate their 20 hours of minimum on-site work per month to those cases. Research has shown that working from home won't have any major impact on worker engagement. It's very dependent on communication between the manager and his employees. We have seen that more communication is correlated with more engagement. Now, after going over the telework agreement, Ileana is going to discuss our second recommendation for Glenn.
Hi, everyone. So upon reviewing the Gallup results, it was clear that there were two standout questions where the Loma Linda employees were unsatisfied. The first question reads, "My coworkers are committed to doing quality work with a score of 3.79, scoring in the 21st percentile in the Redlands area." The second question reads, "I have had the opportunity to work, learn, and grow with a score of 3.73 and a 24th percentile rating in the Marietta location." These scores give us some indication of the lack of community that is currently existing in the dynamic. Next slide. So one of our recommendations is for Glenn to create pods or teams. Such teams would consist of members of the support and therapist staff. The teams would create an opportunity for community to be reintroduced, an ability to allow for training and development to occur both organically but also professionally, and also to develop a brainstorming session where questions and concerns can be generated for Glenn's next all hands meeting. Through our research, we found that strong organizational culture impacts retention rates of employees. And now I will pass it over to Ben.
Thank you so much, Ileana. So kind of continuing on our recommendations, we felt as a group that we need to increase benefits as well as self-care when it comes to not only the employees, but Glenn as well. So we're thinking to increase Glenn's availability as well as the culture, having monthly meetings. And in these monthly meetings, employees are going to specifically talk about what we call their pits and their peaks. Now, this is something that they love throughout the day and something they hated throughout the day, whether this was, a week, a month, basically what was their high and what was their low of what was going on. We really think that by doing this consistently every month in a kind of in a really a non-professional setting, right? We're talking about something personal, something that happened at home, something that happened with your kids. We can kind of increase the self-care that's going on between each other and kind of have more of an understanding of where we're all at. This kind of increases benefits and self-care all the way around. And we think it's a great way to kind of help the culture and benefits everybody as well. So if you go to the next slide, please. Excuse me. Now, kind of going on the same idea of self-care, we talked about having Loma Linda increasing their benefits by actually paying for therapy sessions for their employees. Again, I think it's important for us to all remember that these employees are dealing with an incredibly difficult job. They're having intense conversations with youth who frankly are not doing well in life right now, and it's their job to to help them along their path. And these are broken people that are coming to them with big needs and big hurts and big wants. So our employees and your employees rather in this moment are dealing with a lot of burden on their shoulders. So we think that paying for therapy is a great way for employees to know that they are cared for and that they're really loved in this setting by not only Glenn, but by the entire company. On top of that, this will help performance as well. That's a totally separate thing. It's almost a two birds with one stone because we want our employees to be performing at their highest, and self-care is a part of that. So if we were to pay for their therapy sessions, we believe that we'll get the best employee, as well as really show them that, hey, we care for you, we're standing with you, and we're going to help you through the rough times, no matter what it is. So if you go to the next slide, please. And again, on self-care, we wanted to increase this by Glenn putting away a budget for team building outings, such as something like bowling or paintball, or even just a spontaneous lunch. This is a great way where employees can be in a position where they are part of a team, maybe a part of a team that they don't typically see all the time, maybe cross departments. And they can build rapport during these events and during these team building exercises. And according to Eisenberger and Armili in 2001, perceived organizational support helps employees' emotional commitment to their organization. Now, our employees need to have a high emotional commitment to not only ourselves, but to their patients as well. And this is something that helps the entire organization, but really helps the clients and the patients when it comes down to it. So these employees need to know that they are being supported from an organizational level. We've gone through the research. Glenn is there for them, and the employees know that. But we want to go the extra mile, and we think by doing something fun, by taking everybody out for bowling, even paintball, getting a little fun, would be a great way to kind of build rapport, as I said, and continue to help the self-care and benefits of this team. Now, if you go to the next slide, please. So we also talked about doing something called Glenn Care. We recommend that Glenn attend an executive coaching as well as a leadership seminar, so he can better manage his employees without putting himself in a quote hole. Glenn has 43 people that are reporting to him right now. That's a lot on his plate. 43 different individuals dealing with different problems on a day-to-day basis. And it's a lot to manage for him right now. So we spoke a lot during this presentation about being there for the employees and having their benefits and self-care taken care of. That applies to Glenn as well. With so much on his plate and with so much going on, we want to make sure that he is performing at his highest. That way he can manage these high performers. And we think that sending him to a coaching as well as a leadership seminar at a very high executive level can help him do these at a more efficient and just a better rate. So we're thinking take care of Glenn, taking care of the rest of the employees is a great way to continue to grow and continue to fix the issues that right now that are happening at Loma Linda. And that's kind of the end of our presentation. We're super excited about the recommendations we provided, and we're looking forward to speaking more about you guys about how we can help. Thank you.